colorful imagination, electricity of consciousness, melting and goldenness, vast expression, effervescent joy, effortlessness.
Tell me about the inner dance.
What just happened?
To know I'm free, to know I'm human, and there's this ultimately this playfulness that's afforded in that. And it is a game, and we can make mistakes, and we should try and enjoy and make mistakes. And
to be reminded of that, I am one, I am human, I am free, to always be faithful already.
Wow. And what's amazing is I feel like super activated, but equally essentially grounded.
Absolutely, absolutely. The roots are deeply, deeply holding.
Yeah, I just felt so playful, so cheeky and playful and aware as well, with this real guiding awareness, but just the fun bits that came around it. Thank you.
Thank you. What a dance.
Hello, I'm Bobby and welcome to Just This. I created Just This to inspire profound connection, creativity and expression. The intention is to create and share messages of inspiration and healing for the wider collective. Marlia Coeur is my guest for this episode. Marlia is a wonderful and deeply loved soul who has touched many lives with her beautiful voice. She is a vocal coach, voice activator, recording artist and spiritual singer. She creates magical and unique live performances, collaborates with amazing musicians and singers, and facilitates life-changing vocal activation retreats and workshops. This video shows highlights of the creative process during which Marlia and I co-created the improvised free verse poem entitled The Inner Dance, followed by an in-depth discussion about the title and how it relates to our lives and Marlia's work. If you'd like help finding free-flowing creative energy and expression in your work, then get in touch with me. Subscribe to the channel now for upcoming behind-the-scenes video releases. I'm delighted to introduce Just This, The Inner Dance with Marlia Coeur.
Us into this beautiful space. We're feeling grateful and blessed, welcoming this amazing day, feeling so blessed to be here next to the river, next to this absolutely surreal hill of green and blue sky above.
And I ask for the strength and the awareness to sit and express freely with fearless wonder and joy. Thank you. So let's take a minute just to sit in the space and the magic we're creating, and then we'll begin some practices together. Natural abundance,
Divine connection,
youthful naivety,
playfulness, inner guidance and inspiration. What wants to emerge?
energetic joy. What wants to emerge?
Realization of oneness. What wants to emerge?
Bold expression. What wants to emerge?
Pristine and precise direction, like an arrow.
It was so wonderful to just really be prompted with your questions very strongly, like the arrow. So what I'd love to do with these is kind of boil them down into a simple summary. So maybe the first place to start is, can we see any natural groupings here for these?
Yeah, I would say it's sort of more zoomed out from the perspective of a universe. So like this natural abundance, divine connection, permission to be free. What makes me smile already,
Yeah.
Bright smiles, because this phrase just came forth, which says, I know I am energy and I know I am human.
Oh, I love that. Maybe we could bring in something to know I'm free and human, or to know I'm
Right.
natural and human, or divine and human, something.
To know I'm a free human?
Yes. So what's needed is to know I'm a free human, and what wants to emerge is that I'm always faithful already. So what just came for me was like always already playing, or always already playfulness, or...
Sure. Because that's a big aspect, and all of these others, the direction, the expression, the guidance, will be reinforced once there's playfulness. And playfulness, what is? It doesn't matter if I win or lose. It's a game.
Yes.
So to see life in that kind of way.
And that playfulness really does tie into the human aspect and the free aspect as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I guess it then, it relates a lot to the inner child, right?
To know I'm free, to know I'm human, and there's ultimately this playfulness that's afforded in that, and it is a game, and we can make mistakes, and we should try and enjoy and make mistakes.
Inner dancer.
Oh, inner dancer.
Because that's what a dancer can do, right? To
Yes.
weave in the movements by allowing this playfulness, allowing the faithfulness, allowing the freedom.
How about the inner dance?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. May the inner dance arise.
May the inner dance arise.
The inner dance.
May the inner dance arise.
As the inner dance, there is colorful imagination.
As the inner dance, there is melting and goldenness.
As the inner dance, there is vast expression.
As the inner dance, there is effervescent joy. Nice. All right, so I'm super happy with these. What we'll do then, this next part to actually make the poem, in the inner dance as electricity of consciousness, shooting throughout my nerves, my cellular networks, this inimitable, unstoppable brightness, this power, this curiosity, this movement, the electricity of my consciousness is magic.
In the inner dance, as vast expression from a place of being given permission to express multiple layers open unexpectedly, unimaginably, to create new pathways of all kinds of expression into beingness.
as I step through into the vastness, like the landscape of a Salvador Dali painting, astonished, immersed, expanded. There really is nothing beyond the realm of my imagination. There really is no realm of imagination. There really is this inner knowing, the presence, the listening, the stepping forward, the light steps, the light dances, the joyful movements.
In the inner dance as effortlessness, when I stop, will rivers still flow? When I attempt no more, will leaves still fall from the trees? As I find stillness, do clouds still move in the sky? The web of the world is being woven.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a dance. Wow. I don't think this is the coffee anymore.
No. It's the inner dance, baby.
It's the inner dance, baby.
So how was that?
Wow. It's an initiation and a deeper knowing at the same time. So it's like initiation in the sense of like, wow, what is this abundant place that we as humans can reach just with the presence of each other?
Yeah.
A hint of playfulness.
Yes.
And letting go, like allowing.
Yeah, I just felt so playful, so sort of cheeky and playful and aware as well, with this real guiding awareness, but just the fun bits that came around it. Marlia, please express the inner dance.
Dancing in the dark, dancing in the light, allowing for one movement to follow another, but tuning in to the body, tuning in to the sensations, allowing for moments of expansion and faster movement, allowing for moments of bringing it back.
The inner dance. I feel like I'm in a dance. The bass, the crowds, the energy, the bodies. Feeling the resonance, the internal intuitions peaked and tantalizingly set off by the movements around me, knowing crucially that there is nothing wrong with me, knowing crucially that I deeply care. I that can care about this within, the dance of knowing and understanding the fullness of that experience of the polarity of my self-reference. All right, so tell me about the inner dance.
What just happened? So it's manifesting into a goddess. So I guess that there is an inner dance which is symbolized by a goddess.
Manifesting into a goddess.
Aha. What just came through can actually have a bigger dimension, let's say, to it. It can be an entity, and it can be a goddess to invoke. So it can be kind of like a tool, right? Like a reminder of this inner guru, of this divine connection, of this playfulness to sort of, take us out perhaps from a stressful situation or something which is causing a mental confusion of some sort, and dropping us back in and expand, right? So to be reminded of that, I am one, I am human, I am free.
I just love the way that what's really alive listening to you is hearing this kind of gathering of all these different aspects. So it's, the ingredient of the inner knowing, the ingredient of the inner listening, this physical entity, this physical existence, the awareness of the spirit, gathering these elements and bringing them into this joyful, playful dance, which is the point of the arrow, like following the point of the arrow as it dances, and like bringing all those together into this instant reset of just like playfully, how do they work? How does this come into this being, this moment, and then what does it allow me to joyfully bring forth with the other entities that are here and the other physical bodies and minds and souls that are here. So it's kind of like that, the tide just going out and then reinvigorating the shoreline with that I love the direction, that the arrow presence of the dance as it comes in, and just how it's just this playfulness, really, this beautiful playfulness, which I don't always feel is there when it comes to like inner work or contemplation or contemplative or spirituality. I love how there's just been so many like polar aspects to this that somehow just come together in just such a wonderful way that's made so much sense.
And deeper notions, like deep notions, which can keep their depth but come a little bit more into approach, like reach. Not something which is like out there, or how do I find my divinity? No, it's right here, like can be tangible, something that can be tangible. And dropping into this visual can give way and bypass this seriousness and give way to the inner child.
Just that playfulness, the playfulness of the dance.
It's a privilege, very deep honor to connect to that space without words. To just feel it, and then it's also up to us, I guess, to see how this can be transmitted through energy alone instead of an explanation, to sort of have a code, to have like a password, an energetical password to tap into the inner dance.
And then I guess what's really present for me now is how it's kind of like inevitable that it will then, like the pendulum will then swing back out as well, isn't it? Sort of like just go in, allow that dance to happen, and inevitably it will eventually come out as words or actions or even a physical dance or something. And I guess that kind of describes a conversation with our existence, doesn't it? Just sort of like taking it in, dancing with it, and then
letting it go.
Sending it out.
And sometimes pendulum can have a wider range, right? And then while movement is being diminished, can have a narrower range, and it's exactly like the waves that you mentioned before, sort of kissing the shoreline. So.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So it's like the pendulum is the kind of the inner aspect, and then it's obviously, and the waves are like the surroundings that kind of determine the amplitude of that pendulum, you know, like whatever is coming in or is being experienced. Sometimes it could be a really delicate dance, or sometimes it could be like crazy in either direction. Oh, that really encapsulates the original two concepts that we had as well, didn't we?
Yes.
So, the steps to get to the inner dance are to know that you're a free human and to be always faithful already.
Yes. Wow. I need a moment to integrate that.
I think the wonderful thing is it's not entirely logical.
The steps to the inner dance are to know that I'm a free human and to always be faithful already. Wow. So that means there's always a knowing of the existence of the inner dance, no matter I get carried away by another wave of some sort. So that in that rough wave, there is this deeper knowing that the inner dance is still here.
Yes. And then know that you are free human to play in that holding of the inner dance. The inner dance is like a guiding star. Oh, thank you.
The inner dance is like a guiding star.
Just be always already faithful of always already, and know you're a free human. You're free, but you're infinitely tied to this always already faithfulness. Well, we are.
Yeah. Free to choose at any point. I want to embark on the spirit aspect, or I want to choose the human aspect and willingly come out from whichever. Dancing throughout.
Wow. and what's amazing is I feel like super activated, but equally essentially grounded.
Absolutely. The roots are deeply holding.
Yeah.
And nourishing this flying. They are contributing to this flying.
And isn't that the most wonderful way to be determined as well, with a joyful playfulness? You know, I guess if you're going to do that in a dance, if you do it with a joyful, playful force, then I don't know, maybe you don't even need to try so hard. It is effortless.
Yeah, I really abide by this lesson that I've been given since I landed into Bali for gentleness. And this was the first quote that I got from Sage Restaurant: in a gentle way you can shake the world. And it's been on my altar 2 years plus now, because I was trying to shake the world with like really shaking, like really listen to me, and trying to show up with that determination to the others. And the others would usually be either startled or afraid or not interested because it's too much, it's too intense. And then I got the message loud and clear. You can be this ball of power, ball of fire, but you can do it in a gentle way. And that's what I'm learning as well. Otherwise, I burn as well. Because if there's too much fire, I will burn the other, but I will also burn myself.
So I'd love to ask you, in the context of all of this, talking about your mission, your purpose, and how you carry this out with this gentleness. How's this gentleness? What is your purpose, maybe to start with, and then And how do you carry it out, and how has this gentleness evolved into it?
It's so beautiful to be answering this question. I really don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm just going to start. As you're asking, I have the visual of Rumi's quote, "The wound is there to allow the light to shine through, because otherwise it's dark. And the wound is there so that at least I can see that there is this ray of light, and either follow it until I see how can I make this opening bigger so that I can allow more light." Coming from a personal experience to be feeling into the space of an open heart, I guess because my story is coming from a close-hearted background, let's just say, and I truly believe that I was called in as a child, as an incarnation into this body, into this space and time, to contribute to the opening of people's hearts. So I believe that my mission is this, and it's becoming clearer and clearer, having the background that I have, being in the absolute darkness without letting that wound to shine even the slightest ray of light for quite a big amount of time, such enough time in a human lifetime that I actually forgot everything. And slowly came the slaps that reminded me and opened up again that little opening to have the light shine through. And there is another quote that says, "Keep breaking your heart until it breaks open," right? For some reason, I don't really know exactly what is the significance of an open heart in the ascension process. I mean, talking about like where we are going as humanity, right? We are letting go of all the separation and the uprootedness, and we are letting go of all the wounds and the pains. Yes, that's sort of where we are coming from. So I don't really know from, once we are past this and we are looking back into, oh, what did that step of humanity look like back then, and why was it so hard for humans to realize what they have to do to connect and transcend. I truly feel that the space of an open heart is contributing to that ascension, to that development, to that growth, to that transcension. So yeah, my tool is the voice, because there can be many tools to open one's heart. And my own personal tool is the voice, and connecting this voice to an inner song, as is the inner dance, an inner song which is derived by just sound, right? So it's a frequency, and yes, can also sound beautiful, can also sound pure and as raw as sound can get. And through this exploration of the voice and exploration of sound, feeling how we can just call in the fragments of the soul that have been fragmented and just like scattered around. So there is this notion of a soul being formed and then breaking into parts being scattered around. And we are here in this moment of time and space in this body to see how we can gather all these pieces back again. And I feel like sound comes through, creates a frequency. In one's third eye, the shapes are being formed, and through those shapes, it can be that these fragments are called in. And those fragments, when they come in, they create like the space of the open heart.
Wow, I'm astonished and lost for words, and so deeply present and pulled into your explanation and your description of that. It's really beautiful, so rich and inspiring.
Thanks for asking.
And I can attest, I'm just going to speak to the camera, I can attest for one that this magical combination of voice and how Marlia works with this to really bring people's souls back together so that they can ultimately open their hearts to themselves and others is really so true and so effective. And I've just had the absolute honour and pleasure to have been Marlia's student, and just I left the time together in exactly the way that you've described. So I'm eternally grateful for that. And I just wonder, maybe you could expand on what that looks like a little bit more, just so people can kind of grasp the tangible things that you offer, and maybe how that ties into the bigger, deeper story that you shared before as well.
If you can talk, you can sing. All the rest is stories. Stories being put in either by myself or by others.
Those fragments.
Yeah. Something that has been caused for me to believe that I cannot sing, or I don't have a good voice, or I cannot sound good, or whatever each of these perceptions. So what I do is I create vocal activation sessions, either private ones or group ones. Each of these has its own dynamic. The private one, for sure, we can go deeper and address certain personal insecurities that have stayed with us for that long, as my own personal experience, that long that I forgot. So it's the same. If I had it, maybe somebody else has it too. It stayed with me, the darkness, for so long that I forgot how it was to be in the light. So I totally relate to a story of a teacher or of a parent having said to the child, you stop that song, it's not good, you don't sound good, whatever that was. And having been there for so long that the person actually forgets how it is to have voiced out something. So we are going through practices, vocal practices. These vary, and I'm so grateful for inspiration, for my textbooks, also the academic way, also the scales, and also the practical information that I've learned since a child, with playing classical guitar when I was little and studying music theory, to traveling to India and discovering the traditional Indian music. How does the voice work? What are the vocal dynamics? What is the vocal anatomy, vocal mechanics? How do I take an untrained voice and train it? What can I do for a strained voice, a voice that has been caused an accident or has come into some pathology of some sort? And as well, freedom from all of that, free expression, emotional freedom, allowing for the sound, not the voice as a singer, but allowing for the sound to guide the way. So in the group dynamic as well, we have this ability of having each other. So I create a safe space so that we can each support each other and learn through what is each other's stories as well, and allowing for what wants to come through, and also having another human being to really tangibly support me on the journey. whether we like it or not, our journeys are very similar. Or whether we know it or not, our journeys are very similar. And it might be in a different context, but if we look for the deeper essence of what each of these journeys is, we might find very, very similar reasons that all of these experiences happened for us. They might look different, but in their true essence, they're quite similar. So when we have a series of these sessions, things start to shift. If we have a longer, like the retreat, a 3-day retreat, soon happening a week-long retreat. Back in October, we had the 5-day training so that we can tap into more aspects of how the voice can heal. So essentially, it's this very beautiful journey of allowing the sound of our voices to be used as a healing tool. And that healing tool can be essentially for myself, it can be for my friends and family, and it can be for Pachamama, because she needs us. And we can always take this time and use this, a little bit of our energy, to give back to her by singing to her. And there is no judgment there.
Wow, I love that.
Soon to discover that if I take this to the next level, and to the next level, and to the next level, it comes back to that mission.
Ultimately fascinating. And also I want to ask you about this recent production that you did and completed recently with the Greek songs in Greek.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that briefly.
I should have a very strong ancestral line, or the lineages from both of my parents going back as far as we can remember are all coming from populations of devastation and uprooting and losing their homes, even the generation of my parents themselves. So the Greek songs, I guess that they symbolize this. They symbolize a return to peacefulness, a tribute and an honor to all of these generations who, like you and I, they didn't really plan anything. They were beyond, it was beyond their control. Yet again, they went through this human experience with these negative emotions. Whether they knew about it or not, we will never know. But definitely these Greek songs are carrying a lot of that. They are carrying a lot of this blood, sweat, and tears that has been moving around these historical events of exchange of populations, for example, from Turkey to Greece, Albania, Bulgaria, Cyprus within itself has experienced the devastation of a war in the mid-70s. It's very recent. And of course, there's more happening. Cyprus being the only European country in this moment where it's divided in two. It has a line in between, it has a border. To go from one side to the other, you need a passport. Okay. And this is something that both sides, we do not agree with. And this is something which is being established and reinforced by a so-called United Nations. So the situation is this. It used to be the same in Greece as well for 400 years or so. There used to be this dictatorship and an occupation under the Turkish wind. So that's what these songs are all about. They incorporate notions of all of that. People who have been pushed out of their village. People who have identity crisis because a line was passed through their village and half of the village became this country and half of the village became that. And suddenly they start thinking, oh, so who am I? People's families that have been sort of dismantled and just like traveled the whole world, not leaving enough traces to feel into your heritage, to just like tap into what is the story of my grandfathers, what is the story of my grandmothers. And on a more linguistic context, melodies which have survived from oral traditions through generations and generations, like for centuries, without specific lyrics. The lyrics would be put in Bulgaria, different. In the north of Greece, different. And also in relation to the current state of being, which was that at some point when dictatorship was up, you shouldn't make art. Art was forbidden.
No way.
So there is, again, a beautiful, just giving hints now, there is a big analysis of all of this. So first of all, it's language, which is not even Greek, it's not Turkish, it's a mix. Okay. So you can see that people are coming in to this for the creation of something bigger without them even knowing that we now, from the hindsight, we're going to be looking back to this saying, wow, like they just did what they could. And what they could was that if there is any authority which is busting in while we are singing this song, they shouldn't know what we are talking about. Right. That's from the linguistic aspect. From the instrumental aspect, they did the same, meaning that there is this and this and this instrument, Greek instrument or Persian or Turkish, or I know for Greece specifically, that looks like this and sounds like this, and if police would go in exactly busting in our house and found this instrument, they would confiscate it because we're not meant to be making art. So what these people did was to transform their instruments and create them into something different, and that's how you started having fretless instruments, smaller instruments that you could possibly hide or burn in the fire like right away, or I don't know what, so that they can sort of get away with it should any authorities come in and wanted to take them in as whatever, as defying the current dictator. And this is a little bit like the story of Capoeira in Brazil. Right. Capoeira came to be just because people wanted to dance. It's not it looks like it's a martial art, but it's actually, they wanted to show it as it is, as we are dancing. We're just dancing, but they were actually moving in these positions, in how they would fight. And that's again how Birimbau was born. There's just one string instrument played with a rock. I mean, you know, you can easily say, no, I'm not doing anything with this thing. So yeah, wow, all of this is just a little bit of background of what speaks through me, because I also know a lot of the history through textbooks, right? I don't really, I can only feel what I feel, and what I feel is that at some point I was playing many different kinds of songs and more kind of like Western tunes and Western scales, and I was okay with that. And then whenever a Cypriot song or a Greek song came to me, for some reason I would just, my heart would just sob. And this relates back to the experience that I shared with you guys at the retreat, of me being in a concert, playing a playlist of many different songs, my parents residing, they were there, my father was there, which, because of our personal relationship of him not approving my singing career, let's say, or taking him a little bit longer to approve it anyways. It was a very big thing for me that he was there. And when I turned my playlist to a Greek song, my voice just choked, completely choked. And I couldn't sing that song. And immediately tears came through. And that was the hint for me to start exploring more why. And so I'm diving further and further in to these kind of intervals, because in music we have intervals, and the intervals are what are constituting which scale you are playing. And that's why I said these Western kind of intervals didn't do it for me. And as soon as I started incorporating the Eastern intervals, Middle Eastern Mediterranean, East Mediterranean, Balkan, Indian, they started moving something within me, which was unavoidable and inexplainable and utterly attractive. Like attracting. I still have to explore it. So this was the production of the Greek songs. I brought these 11 Greek songs. 2 of them are Cypriot songs. One of them is Bulgarian. The other is both Bulgarian and Greek. Some of them have Turkish renditions, which I don't know because I'm not Turkish. And I hear them from friends of mine and from other artists, and I have very much enjoy to listen to the same song, but it's different. It's same, but it's different.
Wow, there's so many things to say. I mean, I just want to voice just this insight to do with the moment that you shared with your singing the songs and your relationship with your dad, and in the context of the story, how his perception of music having been like maybe, you know, a criminal offense, and that aspect, maybe that has been had aspect of his perspective on it, and then that still like lives on through into the relationship with you, and or how his resistance to it maybe was from that, and then also somehow within you it was there as well, and so that just speaks so strongly to this like regathering and heart opening process, you know, in this broader context of the ancestral trauma and the everything that your family has been through, and you as well.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Before we close up though, I would love to ask you if there's anything else that you'd like to share, or anything that's really alive for you right now.
I would like to give thanks to Mama Bali because of us being here right now in this moment, of all of these beautiful co-creations and transmissions being brought forth. My deepest respect to Mama Bali for just creating this vortex. Yeah, this beautiful vortex for us to shine through and to be able to live it.
Yes.
Because a lot of this, I've been experiencing during my stay in Bali is fundamental, is what I've been waiting all my life. It's absolutely energizing and makes it effortless to see the full version, whether because I see it because it's here and it's all around, or because I see it through the eyes and the hearts of my community. There hasn't been another time in my life when I'm so creative and I can fully give and receive, but this fast speed of giving and through whatever is being carried through to go to the next thing and to the next thing and to the next thing, but resolving each one of these each time is absolutely surreal and very, very real.
Super real.
So thank you, Mama Bali. Matur
Thank
Suksuma.
you.
Matur Suksuma. You've been the best continuation of my life.
And this is especially relevant, I guess, because you're going to be traveling soon, aren't you? Mm.
Yeah. We will make one concert on the Earth Day, celebrating Mama Bali and the whole Earth by planting trees with each of our tickets that are being sold for this fundraiser in collaboration with the Vesper Collective, these beautiful friends of mine, Brian and Joy, and also with the Ilahi Ensemble, the beautiful creation of Tahir Kawal with the sisters that are singing. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. After that, I will say good hi to Bali for a little while, and then I'll come back. There's definitely a voice calling out for return to motherland, and it feels like yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, especially in the context of everything you just shared, and with these songs coming through and being performed and shared.
Yeah, totally. I don't see me how I could have done the same project in Cyprus or Greece. It's absolutely absurd that it was Indonesia that it had to happen, that I would sit with an Indonesian string ensemble and teach them Greek tunes. It was past my imagination. That's why all of these vast imagination and colorful expression are coming through.
Yeah.
Because it's like, sky's your limit, dream big.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ah.
Thank you for giving me space to share all of this.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, I just want to close up now by just expressing my just deep and heartfelt and joyful and just happy thanks to you. This today has been absolutely beautiful, so joyful, such a wonderful connection, and I just feel so lit up, so alive, and it's just really been so special to share and create with you. So grateful for you, your presence, your magic, your open heart, and your voice. Yeah, thank you.
You likewise. Thank you for a beautiful co-creation. Thank you for guiding us, leading us into the meditations and dropping us in your concepts, everything that you have contributed with your magic and your heart and creativity to bring forth. Yeah, beautiful thing what you're doing.
You're very, very welcome. Okay, well, I think that's a wrap. Would you like a hug?
Yay!